Hello everyone, I am Brittany, the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel for everybody who is new. Welcome back to all of my subscribers. Today we are going to be doing an unboxing and flip through of the Untamed Mystery Tarot. So I backed this deck back in September and it was supposed to get here in November. It was supposed to be a very short campaign. As of today, which is the 4th of April, it's when it arrived. It actually was shipped back in February, so there were quite a few delays in getting this deck. But let's talk a little bit more about it. This is by an artist named Ivy, and it comes in this lovely box here. You can see all of that holographic design, and you can find a little bit more about this deck at thewheeloffortunetarot.com. So why don't we go ahead and get started with talking about the box. So as you can see in the box, it's fully holographic. It is green with a lovely design on the front. I believe it's the Wheel of Fortune tarot card, and which is not surprising considering the designer is the Wheel of Fortune Tarot. It has this cool little like inlay here, which makes the box look very reversible. I actually thought that was the front originally, but you can see all of that beautiful shine there. And it goes all the way through the top and bottom of the box. So it's a nice sturdy box actually. I really like it. It is not a hinge, it's just a pull off. But look how the design goes into the actual back of the lid. I really enjoy that. So let me pull the guidebook and the cards out and we can look at the rest of the box. So you can see the design goes all the way through. The holographic is not just on the outside, but on the inside too. And I think that's just really cool. Nice attention to detail. It's a nice firm box. I will say that maybe the lid is a little slidey. So if you like to travel with your boxes, you might want to rubber band the box together or just put some sort of way to keep the lid on. Just to be doubly sure nothing falls out. So yeah, this is the box. Let's go and look at the guidebook. This is actually a thick guidebook. I think when I was going through it, I think it's because of the size of the text, but you can see the motifs from the design of the box go all the way throughout the guidebook cover. I will say the guidebook information-wise is pretty status quo, but let's look at a few things I don't like. You can kind of already see based off of how the book opens that the title is a little off-center. I know it's a little nitpicky, but when you go into the actual guidebook, you see how closely the text runs into the binding. There's very little margin, and in these early pages, you'd have to really crack that spine in order to read it. So you really have to pull it open, which makes me worried about the longevity of this book. So let's look at the book just going from the beginning. We have our title page. We have a cute little poem or saying by John W. Gardner. And then we get into the introduction. So the introduction just goes over the artist Ivy Feng and how she went about creating the Untamed mystery. I'm not going to get too far into that, but it is apparently based lightly off of the Rider-Waite-Smith style. But then we get immediately into the major arcana. It doesn't give an overview of the majors, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. What is cool is if you like more of a description and backstory and more of that flowery novel type descriptions, this really gives you that. But if you've seen my flip throughs, you know I really like just the nitty gritty. Tell me the upright, the reversed, and be done with it. At the end of that, you get the upright keywords and the reverse keywords. You notice that there are no illustrations, so it's a very status quo guidebook, nothing too crazy. My one complaint is when we get into the wands, there are two Eight of Wands. So we have Eight of Wands, and then we have Eight of Wands. It wouldn't bother me so much if we still had the Nine of Wands, but there is no Nine of Wands description. And I checked. It's not that the page is titled incorrectly. There's actually just two Eight of Wands pages. So I feel like, you know, for a deck of this price, this would have been an easy thing to fix. And I understand, you know, guidebooks are a dime a dozen. It's kind of low frills, nothing too special about it, but still something that is easily fixed with simple editing. Let's go on and talk about the cards. I'm going to do a quick overview, then we'll get into the flip through, and then we'll do a deeper review of the cards. So here you can see the cards have that same holographic nature of that you see here in the box. The sides are actually everything. This is a glossy deck, and I say glossy because it's actually coated in something and has more of a linen texture finish. So the sides feel like the sides of a glossy deck, but the front and backs do not. So I think that's really actually cool, and they have this dark edging here. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this off. Here we can see all of the cards. They're really, really pretty. They have this nice, rich red outline. I can already tell now that these are going to be very slippery, so I'm going to just set them down so I don't make a mess. But so that's the front. Let's look at the backs of the cards. The back is actually a little less holographic in comparison to the front and the box, but not in necessarily a bad way. I really do like the motifs of eyeballs and the skeletons. It reminds me more of a macabre version of my Wandering Spirits deck. If you haven't seen that, I have a flip through of that deck. And the colors are really quite vibrant. I'm going to try to move this up and see if you guys can catch that on camera. The colors are vibrant. The holographic is very evenly distributed. I will say the cardstock is laughably thin, laughably. So let's go on and do the flip through, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the cardstock, do a little shuffle test, and get into all that. So the deck came with these 2 extra cards here, and this is just a personal quote by John W. Gardner. It was the same one that was in the guidebook. And then this is just an informational card. There's no way you guys are going to read that with the glare. About the manufacturer. It has some like salesman kind of garbage on it. It says that it's professional custom tarot printing manufacturer, high quality creative craftsmanship, just kind of weird buzzwords on it. It tells you where it's from, and then has the social media and website information. So that's kind of nice. I like that they include their information in here. I don't know that I've recalled actual cards that are like that. I know usually it's in the guidebook, so just kind of a fun thing to share. So if you noticed, or if you could notice, and I'll pull this one up as an example, skeletons or bones and eyeballs are a reoccurring motif in this deck. So I'm going to read a little bit about the campaign, but I'll put the information in the description box below. So it's a symbolism of the expression or the idea of embracing the wilder parts of our nature. It's talking about how plants are part of our world, and plants with eyeballs coming out of them is a reoccurring motif in here. And then also the human brains, eyes, skeletons, bones, and they're all tools that help us perceive different things in life and to help give us life. So I'll put all that information in the description box, but let's go ahead and talk about the cards. You probably saw in the flip through that the cards are already warped. You can see that here. It came that way. I'm gonna pull that card out so we can kind of look at it. I think it was the Ten of Swords. It already warped. It's kind of annoying, but as a rifle shuffler, I know it's gonna happen to my deck anyway. I just don't like to receive things already in that condition, because I know that it's not a good sign about the longevity of a deck, especially one that costs as much as this costs. So I didn't mention earlier, even though I have the information down below, this was a $65 Kickstarter. So the fact that the cardstock is really just really thin. It's really thin. You can see I can bend this whole deck very easily. It's very slidey too. So let's see. Let's do a quick overhand shuffle. So they're slidey. I knew they would be slidey, but that's kind of to be expected. But if you are a person that likes to fan your decks out, it fans beautifully. Look at that fan. Perfect fan. So if you like to fan your decks out for aesthetic reasons or just to select your cards that way, it works really well. And you can see after just without even rifle shuffling, you can kind of see the divides happening already. So you know this is going to be a deck that maybe after it's uniformly not in pristine condition, it will bother me less. But let's go ahead and do a rifle shuffle. Kind of had a feeling these would explode a little during shuffling. They're very slippery, even though they have a textured finish. It's both gloss and not gloss at the same time. But like, let's look at that bend there. It's very bendy. And I wonder how well that will stand up. It even sounds like paper. Can you hear that? Yeah. So it kind of has that. It feels more like paper than it does cards. It feels like textured paper. I feel like I've had resumes thicker than this. Okay, guys, let me know what you thought of the deck. I think the images are really cool. Let's actually So one final thing I thought was cool is the suits are all different animals. So let me go ahead and pull out the different suits here. The guidebook actually goes into the meanings of the selection of the animals for each suit. For the cups, we have the rabbit, specifically, or for cups, we have fish. For the wands, we have the rabbit, specifically the white rabbit. For the pentacles, we have a horse, and for swords, we have an eagle. Another thing I think is interesting about this is that in the guidebook, it starts with wands, which I don't feel is very common. I feel like a lot of times cups is the very first one to be listed in the guidebook. It's meaningless, but I just thought it was funny to point out. So here we have wands. This is listed as the white rabbit. So I'm going to try to get this guidebook open so I can read it to you guys. But it says a white rabbit is our untamed guide through the mysteries of the suit of wands, which represents the element of fire. Quick-footed and highly sensitive, the white rabbit is a mostly solitary animal with a strong curiosity to explore the natural world without preconceptions. So it goes more into the animal spirit of the white rabbit. And I think that is really cool because it then goes into how the wands are depicted as a forest, which is like a network of trees and branches and twists and turns. So I think that is really awesome. Let's look at the next one. So the next one is cups. And it says that it is actually the Nishiki koi fish, which is the guide through the mysteries of the suit of... I found another typo. This says the suit of wands, but it should say cups, obviously. So this is representative of the element of water. The koi fish, cultivated from the carp for their striking colors in the 19th century Japan, are cherished for their intelligence and mystical characteristics. It gives like the specs on the koi fish instead of just like going into why it was selected for tarot or for the suit. But it does go on to say the koi fish are a symbol of love and peace, which is the purest energy of the suit of cups. Let's look next at swords. So here we have the eagle as the untamed guide through the mysteries of the suit of swords, which represents the element of air. Highly intelligent, fast, and fiercely independent, the eagle is one of the largest birds in the world. As an animal spirit, eagles soar through the realm of swords with the highest perspective. I really like that idea of being able to get the full perspective of a situation because you get a bird's eye view of everything. Finally, we have the suit of pentacles, which is represented by the white horse. The horse is strong and sturdy and is a symbol of fortune, independence, roundedness, and endurance. I really like that. I think it's very interesting that the koi fish was more of a cerebral, like, this is what a koi fish is. This is how it was created. This is how big koi fish tend to be, whereas everything else is more of its symbolism and representative of why it is in this specific suit. So I think this will take some getting used to. This isn't quite a review of like how the deck works or feels long term, so I'm gonna give it the college try. But guys, let me know below what you thought of this deck. I know because of the lighting it's a little hard to see, but I think what I'll do is, if you are following me on Instagram, I'm gonna do some one card readings from my stories and just kind of get a feel for this deck. So let me know, comment below what you think about this deck. How do you feel about the cardstock? And let me know what you think of the deck overall. All right, so if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.